70% of project failures trace back to one difficult stakeholder. Most people fight them. Top performers use a counterintuitive strategy that turns resistance into buy-in. It was the third meeting this week where nothing got decided. The VP wanted more features. The client wanted faster delivery. The engineering lead wanted everyone to stop changing requirements. And Priya, the project manager caught in the middle, realized something that changed her entire career. The problem was never the project. It was the people. If you have ever felt trapped between stakeholders who refuse to agree, this video will give you 6 battle-tested strategies to turn your most difficult stakeholders into your strongest allies. Here is something nobody tells you in project management training. Every difficult stakeholder is driven by a fear they will never say out loud. The VP who keeps adding features is terrified the product will launch and nobody will care. The client who micromanages every sprint is afraid of wasting their budget on something that does not work. A Stanford study found that 68% of workplace conflicts come from unspoken expectations, not actual disagreements. So before you push back on a difficult stakeholder, ask yourself one question. What are they afraid of losing? Once you identify that fear, you stop fighting the symptom and start solving the real problem. Priya learned this the hard way when she stopped arguing with the VP about scope and started asking what success looked like to him personally. His answer changed the entire conversation. Here is a mistake I see smart project managers make every single day. They present the same update the same way to every stakeholder in the room. But a CFO does not care about your sprint velocity. An engineer does not care about your quarterly revenue targets. A McKinsey report found that executives retain only 10% of information that is not framed in business outcomes. If you want a technical stakeholder to listen, show them the system impact and the architecture trade-offs. If you want a finance stakeholder to listen, translate everything into cost, risk, and return on investment. When Priya started sending the VP a one-page summary focused only on market impact, he stopped attending her sprint reviews to micromanage. He finally had what he actually needed. The biggest mistake you can make with a difficult stakeholder is shutting them out completely. When people feel excluded from decisions, they do not go quiet. They go around you. Instead, give them a specific role with clear boundaries in the process. Invite the micromanager to a weekly review meeting but make it the only forum where change requests are discussed. Give the opinionated executive a vote on the top 3 priorities, but not on every task in the backlog. Research from Harvard Business Review shows that people who feel heard are 4.6 times more likely to perform at their full potential. Controlled influence is not about giving up power. It is about channeling someone's energy so it helps the project instead of derailing it. When a stakeholder says your timeline is wrong or your approach will not work, do not argue with opinions. Opinions are subjective and they escalate emotions. Data is objective and it ends arguments. Track every change request with a timestamp and the impact it had on your schedule. Show exactly how adding 3 features last month pushed the deadline by 2 weeks. Present the cost of context switching in developer hours, not in frustration. The moment you replace "I think" with "the data shows," you shift from a political battle to a professional discussion. Priya started bringing a one-slide impact tracker to every steering committee meeting. Within a month, change requests dropped by 40% because nobody wanted their name next to a delay. Saying no to a powerful stakeholder can be career suicide if you do it wrong. But saying yes to everything is project suicide. The secret is never saying no directly. Instead, present every request as a trade-off. We can absolutely add that feature if we push the launch date by 2 weeks or remove these 2 lower priority items. This technique works because it respects the stakeholder's authority while making the consequences visible. You are not refusing them. You are giving them a decision to make with full information. According to PMI, 37% of projects fail because of unclear or shifting goals. Trade-off conversations prevent that by forcing clarity before commitment. Sometimes a stakeholder is not just difficult. They are actively blocking your project's success. Maybe they are withholding resources, undermining decisions in side conversations, or refusing to engage entirely. Here is the truth most people avoid. Not every relationship can be managed from the middle. When you have tried understanding their fear, speaking their language, and offering trade-offs, and nothing has changed, escalation is not failure. It is leadership. Document the pattern, quantify the impact on the project, and bring it to your sponsor with a clear recommendation. The best project managers know that protecting the project sometimes means having uncomfortable conversations above their pay grade. Here is what I want you to do in the next 10 minutes. Pick your most difficult stakeholder right now. Write down what you think their biggest fear or unspoken concern is. Then draft one message or one slide that speaks directly to that concern in their language. Do not wait for the next blow-up meeting to try these strategies. Start with one conversation, one stakeholder, one small shift. That is how careers transform. Not in dramatic moments, but in the quiet conversations where you choose strategy over frustration. Start today. Not next sprint. Today. That's a wrap, thanks for watching. If this gave you one idea you can use today, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.